Hi everybody, welcome back to Guided by Faith Designs presents Woodworking and Painting in Faith. I am Jean Mitchell, and today we are going to be painting on a 1/2-inch piece of MDF that I cut into the shape of a shield. And we're going to be doing what's called the stained glass method. Now I saw this on Miss Kathleen Miller's page. I believe it is Paint Pouring with Kathleen Miller. I love the way it turned out. It is my recipes and my mixture ratios, but it is her technique, and I want to make sure that she gets credit for that. Options are all the paint colors used as well as your mixture ratios. There's also going to be a screenshot at the end of the video for that stuff. And also down at the bottom of the video, you will see the sections of the video. So if you want to skip straight to the swipe or straight to the spin or whatever, just use the stuff at the bottom to go do that. Stay tuned at the end of the video. God did put a word on my heart to somebody, and so hopefully y'all will stick around to hear that. And I hope y'all enjoy this painting. I will talk to y'all soon. God bless. All right, we are all set up. And so our base paint is just the ColorPlace Classics Interior Paint. It is the white, the semi-gloss. Semi-gloss is what I use. I might try the satin. I've seen other people use the satin, so I might try that one as well. And I've put just a little bit of the DecoArt Media Fluid Acrylics Carbon Black in the base paint just to give us that really light gray color. I do have the piece of MDF. It is down on a Lazy Susan. So again, this is just a piece of MDF. I think this is actually 1/2 inch instead of 3/4 inch. I do have, so I taped some little popsicle sticks here so that we can spin it very easily. And this is actually just held on by duct tape. The MDF is heavy enough that it's going to stay on here, and then I just have duct tape just to keep it on the spinner. I actually have the spinner attached to a piece of cardboard, and so that way I can tape down the cardboard so when we spin it, the whole thing isn't going to slide all over the place. So that's our setup for this today. So we are going to flood the canvas. I go ahead and do a full flood, and then I'm going to spread it out. So we're going to go ahead and flood the canvas. Now this is just straight house paint and the Media Fluid Acrylics. Yeah, Media Fluid Acrylics Carbon Black. I did not add any water today. Normally I add water to my base paints, but today I did not, to my pillow paint. But today I decided I would try it without it and see what kind of different movement and look that we get. All right, now that we got the base layer down, we are going to go ahead and torch this just to get the bubbles out. All right. So I've done this one. I actually did this technique on this a couple days ago, and I learned a few things from this one. Whenever you are going to do a spin, make sure you leave enough paint on your canvas, wherever you're using, to spin, because I went to spin that thing and it didn't move at all because I didn't put enough paint down. So biggest thing I learned from that one is make sure you have enough paint to do your spin. So yeah, so we are going to go ahead and lay down a good pillow paint. We are going to make sure this is nice and flooded so that when we do spin this bad boy, we're going to have some movement. All right, now let's get started, and we are going to drizzle everything on. All right, let's go ahead and drizzle. Drizzle, 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 drizzle. I'm hoping this isn't too thick. I didn't want to make it too thin because it'll just fall through. We'll find out. We'll find out when we swipe if it's too thick. All right, now we're going to use our green. right, I think that is all of our cups. We are going to do our swipe, but what we're going to do, because this is a kaleidoscope swipe, what we're going to do is we are going to take our playing cards, our swiping here. So we are going to swipe with the playing cards. And so make sure when you do this, you've got some extra paper towels to clean your card off. And you can normally get a good 4 or 5 swipes per card before you need to flip it around and use the other side. As long as you clean it off in between hands. So what we're going to do is we are going to lay our cell activator out, and we're going to dip our card in the cell activator and then swipe from there. We're going to swipe just from all different angles and just get a whole bunch of different designs going on. So we'll see if this recipe works. Things I did do is I added a little bit of glue all to my cell activator. I heard, I can't remember where I heard it, but that it actually helps your cells hold their shape better. So we're going to see if that is true and if that works. So I added just a little bit of glue all to the Floetrol and paint mixture. And so we are going to see how well it helps the cells hold their shape as they're drying. All right, we're going to move on to a different card. All right, I think that is everything swiped. Technically, we could leave it just like this and it would look super, super cool. All right, now what we're gonna do is we are going to wreck this, and I am going to use, see if I can find a very thin, there we go, that'll work. All right, so I'm just gonna use the thin tip of the back end of a paintbrush And we are just going to do some wrecking on this. Not a whole lot though, just to kind of give us some movement. Just a little bit of movement before we spin it. Clean it off between each use just like you would if you were swiping. Alright, we're going to do one more right here. Alright. Y'all ready? Now hopefully we left enough paint on here that we can spin it. So I have everything out of the way. Actually, I'm going to move my little external tablet. My TV tablet basically is what that is. Okay. We're going to make sure everything is out of the way. And we are going to spin this. Alright, here goes. Hopefully that stays on. 1, 2, 3. Alright, check that out. Very awesome. What do y'all think? I like it. Hopefully, with adding the glue wall to the cell activator, all of these cells are going to hold their shape. Now, a couple of cool things about painting on MDF. MDF actually helps keep your painting from cracking. Because MDF is so porous, even though we put down a base coat, we sand it to close up the fibers, we put down a base coat of paint and all of that. MDF is still going to help absorb some of that moisture, so your painting is going to dry a little evenly. Paintings crack because the top layer of your paint dries at a faster rate than the inner layer of your paint, and that's what causes the cracking. It's actually the top layer that's already dry that starts separating, and that's when you get big cracking. So painting on MDF actually is going to help that. I'm just going to run this underneath here and separate. I got paint stuck to the side and the spinner. Okay. All right. That's it. I'm super excited with the way this turned out. I hope y'all liked it too. We have a whole bunch of new stuff coming with MDF. My new scroll saw came in yesterday. I already have it built. Now I just got to do the stand and get it all together, and then we are just going to start doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Not crazy stuff, but we're going to get on that scroll saw and we're going to make some stuff and we're going to paint it. We're going to do some beautiful stuff together. So thank y'all very much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments section, and I will do my best to get back to you. Down in the description are all of the paint colors used, my mixture ratios, the mixture ratio for my the swipe. I couldn't think of my cell activator. That's what the word I'm thinking of, my cell activator. I do want to show y'all this. Normally my pouring medium mixture is done with the Sherwin-Williams Infinity and my Polycrylic, but I'm actually out of my Infinity. So today I use the PPG Diamond. This is the SemiGloss Ultra Deep base number 3, untinted. So that's what I use today with my Polycrylic to get our pouring medium, and it seemed to turn out really, really well. Okay, so please don't forget to go and join my Facebook group, Paint Pouring for Christ. It is a place where like-minded individuals can come together and love on God and just tell what he's doing in our lives and how he's affecting our painting. You are welcome to post links to your YouTube videos there if you have a channel. And also it's a place where if you need a prayer request or something like that, come and let us know, and we can come together as a community, and we can pray for you and that kind of thing. So go check that out, Paint Pouring for Christ. Also down in the description, links to my Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest. I don't do Twitter. There's also a link down there if you'd like to help sponsor my channel. And my website's guidedbyfaithdesigns.net, and thenerdden.com is where you'll find all of my tumblers. Guidedbyfaithdesigns.net is all of my faith-based stuff, my vinyls, and all of that. So thank y'all very much for watching. I'm going to bring y'all down for a closer look. We're going to do some up-close shots, so stay tuned for those. And as always, God bless. Hi everybody, welcome back. Thanks for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed that painting. I really love the way it came out. I just wanted to talk to y'all, and I'm going to try and make this fast. Sometimes I get long-winded and I kind of get off track, and so I'm going to try and stay on track and just really tell you what you need to hear and tell you what God put on my heart. So to tell you that, I need to tell you the quick where we got to where we're at. So if you followed me for any point in time, you know that we lost our beautiful Hinata back in August to a severe infection. She underwent emergency surgery, but unfortunately she had gone septic and there was nothing we could do. It was one of those, the vet said that we couldn't have caught it any sooner. She was fine on Saturday, unresponsive on Sunday, and dead on Monday. It happened that fast. Wednesday, we noticed that one of our other dogs, Sakura, was acting weird. She was licking herself a lot, and I just knew that something was wrong. Call it intuition, call it whatever. I just knew. I believe it was God speaking to my heart that she needed to go in, that something was wrong, and that we needed to take her in. I watched her that morning, and it was the smallest, most insignificant thing that really triggered the trip to the vet. And that was Kirito, one of our big males, tried to jump on her to play with her, and she snapped at him and she ran away. And normally she's the instigator. She's the one jumping on everybody else, and she has never run from a fight. Never run from a wrestling match. I called Dustin immediately and I told him what happened. He said, "Are we taking her to the vet?" And I said, "We need to." And he said, "I'm on my way." He called into work, he turned around, he came home, we loaded her up, and 4 hours later she was in emergency surgery because she had the same infection that Hinata did. And it was a 50-50 shot. So, Dustin and I share a vehicle. Right now, he has his work van, but it's a gas guzzler, and I work from home full time, so there's no point in him driving that van when the truck sits there all day. So I was going to need, that and the battery's dead in the van, and we don't care. So I was going to need a vehicle for Thursday, to, good Lord willing, pick Hinata or Sakura up from the vet. So we stopped at his parents' house. His parents let us borrow their car, his mom's car. And so I was driving home by myself in the truck, and I listened to K-Love all the time. And I think I was stuck in my flesh, and my mind was going to all of the things that can happen. My mind was going to, she's going to die. We're going to get the same phone call from the vet that she made it through surgery, but she's not doing great. And then the next day, we're going to get the call from the vet that, she had a major seizure and you need to get here to say goodbye. And then I'm going to pick up her ashes a few days later. And then we're going to have to deal with the heartache of losing her and watching our other dogs go through the depression of losing her. And that's where my mind was, because that's where the devil wanted my mind to go. He didn't want me focusing on God. He didn't want me to look towards God for comfort in the answer, and didn't want me in prayer. And so I fought very hard to switch my mind, and I started praying. I started praying for her healing, and I started praying for her to come home, and I started praying for God to perform a miracle. But sometimes in those situations, especially on something that when it comes to like a dog or an animal or something like that, that's insignificant to some people. But for other people, it's huge. For us, it's a huge thing. We're dog parents. We don't have kids. Those are our kids. And so what you might think is insignificant and what you might think is weird to pray about, it's not. Everything is important. God finds everything that you pray about important. And this word is not about prayer. This word is somebody needs to know that God hears you. All of the praying that I did, I got done praying, and then of course I had that little voice in the back of my head. It's just a dog. Is God really going to answer prayers about a dog? God, do you even hear me when I pray about our dogs? Which is weird to think because, one of our other dogs got bit in the face by a rattlesnake, and she's fine. We prayed about her, and she made a full recovery. So I just want somebody out there to know that He hears you. God hears you. No prayer is too small. Nothing is too insignificant to God. You know, Sakura is home. She made it through surgery. She was up moving around yesterday. I picked her up last night, and right now she's asleep in Dustin's office recovering. And this isn't about that. This is about I want somebody to know that God hears you. And the reason I know that the word is about that is because when I got done praying and I had that little voice in my head going, does he really hear this? Like, is this really a significant thing to pray about? I verbally spoke out loud, and sometimes you have to speak out loud. Sometimes just praying in your head and praying in your heart is, you really need to speak it out and speak it into existence, because words have power. And I basically said, God, I need to know if you hear me, and I need to know what is going to happen. And I turned on K-Love. Um, and there was a song ending, and I can't even tell you what song it was. The next song that came on was Waymaker by Elevation Worship. And if you haven't heard that song, you need to. And basically the chorus is, he is a waymaker. He is a promise keeper. He is a miracle worker. He is the light in the darkness. And I knew as soon as I heard that song, I knew three things. One, nothing is too insignificant to pray about to God. Two, he hears you when you pray about stuff. And three, if you listen, he will give you an answer. And I guess there's four things, because then I also knew that Sakura was going to be coming home and she was going to be okay. So if you are struggling with something today, and if you are struggling with, should I pray about this? Is this something I really need to pray about? Because it's just so insignificant. Whether it's, you know, and I don't even want to kind of give examples, because some things are really more significant, but pray about it. Speak it out, pray about it, take it to God. And if you listen, God will answer you. He'll give you an answer. And sometimes that answer, and I've said this before, sometimes that answer is not what you want to hear. Sometimes that answer is not when you want to hear. Sometimes that miracle you're looking for to happen immediately isn't going to happen for 6 months, because it's in God's time, not yours. And sometimes God's timing, we don't understand it, but it's God's timing. But just remember that he hears you. So right now, if you are listening to me and you have been praying about something, and you have been asking God, do you hear me? Is this too insignificant? And you've been asking that, he hears you. I'm telling you right now, he hears you. I was not originally going to say anything today, but Dustin was adamant that I say something because somebody needs to hear it. So if you take away anything from today, and you take away anything from this message, know that God hears you. It's not insignificant. If it's insignificant in somebody else's eyes, it doesn't matter. It's important to God. So continue to pray about it. Trust and believe that he hears you, because he does. God hears all of our prayers. His timing and reaction is just different than possibly what we're looking for and maybe when we need it. But what we think we need and what he knows we need are two completely different things. So he hears you. Continue to pray about it. Nothing is too small or insignificant. And then once you do pray about it, and I've said this before, let it go, release it all to God, and get out of his way and let him work in your life. I love you all. I will see y'all in the next painting. God bless.